Okay, very well. Goodbye. Hold my calls. Let's talk a little bit about value. Knowing the value of a company is a very critical step in the process of planning and executing an exit strategy. How important is it? Let's take a look. If you have advanced to the point in your life where you're seeing the end of the road and you say, well, gee, I need $3 million to retire and to move on to the life I want to live. If you believe your company is only worth $1 million and you need $3 million to retire, you may decide not to retire, and you may work the last 3, 4, 5 years of your life and end your career on the spot. Conversely, you may believe your company is worth $5 or $6 million and it's only worth 2 or 3. What happens then? You can go to market with an overpriced business, you can breach your confidentiality, and find yourself in a situation where you've compromised your company and harmed the profitability and the value going forward. So, understanding value is critical. Now, in every industry, there are formulas that are generally discussed. Your accountant, your lawyer, business groups, friends, trade publications. You'll see formulas published from time to time. Often it'll be a multiple of a number. For instance, it could be a multiple of the annual sales, 1 times annual sales. It could be a multiple of book value, 1 or 2 times book value. It could be a multiple of profits, which is quite common, something called EBITDA. Earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. That would be the pure profit of the company. Often you'll find formulas on the low end of 3 to 4 times EBITDA, or 3 to 4 times pure profit. And on the high end, you might see 5, 6, 7, 8, or more times earnings on the high end. Are these formulas reliable? Well, let's take a look at a real-life case study. We look at 2 companies who happen to both be manufacturing metal components for the automotive industry. They both have sales of $5 million, they both have a book value of $1 million, and they both have a pure profit of $500,000. So on paper, they're both identical. They're both manufacturing metal components for motor vehicles. They both have $5 million sales, $1 million asset value or book value, and a $500,000 profit. Are they both worth the same? Using a formula, they are both worth exactly the same. Look closer, though. Company A is fully automated. Company B does everything by hand. Which one do you like better? Most people pick the automated because it's state-of-the-art and more modern. But to a strategic buyer who has the money to automate Company B, they can say, well, gee, with my resources and their company, I can improve those margins and make more profit over here. So I like Company B better. Look closer, though. We find out that Company B is in a 100-year-old building that needs to be leveled and is deteriorating. Company A is in a state-of-the-art leased facility that was built to suit. Company B may be union shop. Company A may be non-union. Company B may have lawsuits pending against it. They may be being under siege by litigation. Company A may have patents that are good for the next 15 years that are very relevant. There could be environmental issues on one side and none on the other. Who the customers are is critical. They're both manufacturing parts for motor vehicles. Well, let's say Company A has as its customers Tier 1 military defense contractors with 5-year contracts to make parts for tanks and Hummers. Company B, their customers are Ford, Chrysler, and Delphi in decline. So who your customers are, other characteristics of the company are much more critical than pure formulas that really don't represent the intangible value of the company. It's very important. We take, on the average, about 30 to 45 days to do an independent market research valuation to determine the value before we launch a deal. If we could figure out value just using a formula in 5 or 10 minutes, we could fire half our company and save 2-3 months off of the process for our clients. It can't be done. Some things just take time.